special edition of Westbury Voices, Young Minds, Big Ideas. My name is Jordan Ferguson, and co-hosting with me is
Mackay Walker.
Hey. We will be exploring the power that often goes unnoticed, the power of kids. Our story today is about the incredible potential influence of young people possess, a topic close to our hearts here at Westbury Middle School. We are privileged to be joined by Nassau County Legislator Ms. Sheila Bino as we dig into the theme of youth empowerment and advocacy. And our conversation will center around how young people can leverage their voices and talents to advocate for what they deserve and need within their communities. So stay with us and we embark on this inspiring exploration of youth advocacy and empowerment with Sheila Bino.
Welcome to the show, Legislator Bino. You look absolutely stunning today.
Thank you, Mackay.
Good afternoon, Miss Sheila Bino, and welcome to our show. Thank you so much for carving out time in your very, very busy schedule to meet with us today. We know your job is very important to the residents on Long Island, particularly the residents who live in the 2nd District. We also know that the 2nd District includes Hempstead, Newcastle, Uniondale, and Westbury. Can you please tell our audience what a county legislator does and why they are so important?
Thank you, Jordan. So a county legislator has basically 3 functions. First is to legislate. It's in our name. And that means to create laws and to vote on policy decisions that would impact our local residents. Additionally, we're responsible for making sure that the family's tax dollars are spent appropriately. So we're called fiduciaries. We also ensure that our residents have access to government. So if there's a problem with our parks, our roadways, if there's a question for the police, we are the conduit for making sure that you receive that information. And that's the basic role of a legislator.
This seems cool.
That would be amazing. Can you also tell us what a district is and how many people you represent in the 2nd District?
So there are 19 legislators, and each legislator represents roughly 70,000 people. So the district is equal as best as it can be per district. So as you mentioned before, I'm representing the village of Westbury, all of Newcastle, all of Uniondale, and a portion of Hempstead. And that configuration of the district is new to me because every 10 years they draw the lines over. So this is the new version of Legislative District 2.
That seems cool.
Yeah, it's really exciting work. I really enjoy it.
Impressive.
I want to also know, how did you become a county legislator?
So it really was an outburst of the community work I was doing in the community. I first served the local community as a housing advocate.
Yeah.
And I was helping families get access to down payment assistance so that they could purchase their first homes. And then I also came back in another form and served as a deputy director for the Housing Authority. And in that role, I was responsible to making sure some of the most vulnerable people had access to housing. And I later decided to go to college and get a master's degree so I could further my work. And through that, I became an executive director of the Housing Authority, and I ran the Housing Authority in Huntington while serving in Westbury as a commissioner for housing. And then I went on to get elected to the school board. And so I served the Westbury School Board. I was twice elected, and I served for a period of 4 years. And then I learned that my predecessor, Robert Troiano, wouldn't seek re-election, or actually, better said, he wouldn't fulfill his term. And so I ran for the seat in a special election and was elected in February 2014.
Wow, that seems very cool that you can help your community in so many different ways.
It really is very rewarding, and I really couldn't see myself doing anything different at this stage in life.
Yeah, my teachers say that when you give more to your community, it makes you feel better. And that luck will come back to you.
Yep. And those are, you're putting out, a really good um, aura when you serve your community.
Yeah.
And it's great to serve. And it's always helpful to know that you're helping someone, right? You're lifted their load and made their load just that much lighter. Even if it's just incremental help, it's important that we do it.
Oh, I also know that you went to Westbury Middle School, where I'm from.
I went to Westbury School District. I graduated in 19. Okay.
19.
I don't want you to figure out my age, but I'll tell you anyway, since it's just between us, right? 1985, I graduated from Westbury High School. And I've been living in the community basically since then, and in some way or another trying to serve
Has the community changed, or you still get that sense of nostalgia every time you come?
all the time. When I ride by the middle school, I get a flood of memories. When I drive by the high school, another flood of memories. Just driving down Post Avenue, and I see the young people like you leaving the middle school or the high school. I look at them and I see myself, and it's just really, it's heartwarming to be able to still live in a community that you grew up in.
That sounds so sweet.
Does.
But I gotta know, what do you enjoy about your job?
Helping and impacting change, finding solutions to problems, and working with my colleagues in the legislature and other stakeholders to make sure that we can bring about a change that would be positive. That's really kind of what gets me up in the morning, but it also could be the thing that keeps me up at night. I really love what I do, and I put my whole heart into it.
Yes, it seems like your heart is in the right place, though.
Thank you. Thank you, Jordan.
And you do put your heart into all that you do. And us, the members of Westbury, do commemorate you for that.
Thank you, Makai. I really appreciate that.
It sounds like your job is very hard. Can you please share some challenges you face as a county legislator? Like, for example, like, let's say a kid needs help. Like you said, you like to help kids and stuff like that. Let's say he's in like some trouble, his family's in trouble. What would you do in that particular situation?
Yeah, so that happens somewhat routinely, right? So we'll have a parent maybe call and let me know that they're, facing some trouble, and whether it be food insecurity, not having access to the right level of food for the family, whether they're having a problem paying rent, whether there's a problem. Sometimes we get calls that the young person might be new to the community and they're having trouble enrolling in school. What we do is we find partners in the community or government agents or part of the government agency that can help. And we will connect those resources together, the resources with the families, and we make sure that, their needs are met as best as possible. The big challenge sometimes is not being able to provide permanent solutions to some of the issues. But, at the end of the day, we do our very best, and we work with very, very dedicated elected officials from all levels of government to assist us along the way. As you would know, Jordan, most of my 10-year tenure as a legislator was served alongside your aunt, right?
Yeah, 50
Aunt Russell.
Yeah.
And so we work together, and we have been able to overcome many of the challenges, but we always know there's more to be done.
Yeah. Does it like pain your heart to see someone struggling to, like, let's say a new kid enrolls into the Westbury School District and he or she has a hard time assimilating with the culture, or like the new trends, the new fads, another word for trends, for in the school and stuff like that. And would that be like a necessary thing that people will call you for, like trying to assimilate with the community?
We've gotten calls for all kind of things. You'd be surprised. And sometimes they're one-offs, like they're just, a unique situation. Many times there are situations that we confront on a regular basis, and we know where the resources are to help. But we get all types of calls, and no call, no issue is too big or too small for us to get involved in. So we answer every call that comes in, and sometimes I have to redirect them to the town. Sometimes I have to redirect them to the village of Westbury or the village of Hempstead and the other parts of the district. But we stay with the issue so that we make sure it gets resolved at whatever level of government might be addressing the matter. Wow.
That seems very cool.
Yeah.
Isn't that like breathtaking, Makai? To hear all of that?
Really breathtaking.
Are you out of breath?
A little,
Yeah. Are you on a mountain?
maybe. Oh, your words are taking me on a mountain on Mount Everest. Very breathtaking.
So I know that this might be one of your first interviews today, and I know that you may have some questions regarding how do you get involved with your local government to solve your issues, right?
Yeah,
If there's any issues that bubble up.
Before that, Makai has a question.
Okay.
What advice would you give or have for anyone who would like to become involved in the local government?
I say do it. There's so many opportunities to serve your community. You can do it you can serve at the level within local government, and the most local governments in your communities are always going to be your library boards, your school boards. You can actually volunteer in your community within community organizations. Do you both know the Yes We Can Center?
Yeah, I've been there before, and I've seen like the yoga programs and like the gym in the basement, the basketball court. And I just signed up for the summer camp one time for 2 or 3 years. I don't remember.
That's great. So there's opportunities to bring programming like that to the Yes We Can Center. They sometimes accept volunteers to help. I know I partner with the town and the Yes We Can Center to do a back to school event where we give out like 700 plus book bags each year to the local community. And we're always looking for volunteers. So I think that folks can volunteer. And I also believe that folks should get involved by just showing up to some of the community meetings that are being held so they can know what's going on in their community and they could become more acquainted with their elected officials so that when problems arise or questions come to mind, you can approach them. Because I'll tell you one thing, elected officials want to hear from their community. And we particularly love to hear from our younger, I will say our scholars, our young scholars.
Yeah, I have my scholar bracelet. I have my scholar bracelet on.
I see.
Mm-hmm. And confidence. Confidence is key.
Absolutely.
Does it every time you go, like, like you said, you give out 700 plus book bags. Does like when you purchase these book bags, does the cost come to mind like at all? Like, or you just see the huge smiles on the kids' faces, like instead of seeing the cost.
So we partner with some of our community stakeholders.
Yeah.
And one of the community stakeholders that's very interested and has maintained a commitment for over 10 years at this point for distributing the bags in the Westbury Newcastle community, and that is our law enforcement unions. So the police department is who I partner with for this back to school event, and they take care of purchasing the bags and all of the materials that are inside of it. Wow.
What does the supplies contain of? Because a bit of a nerd.
Want to know exactly what's in it?
Well, I mean, maybe instead of a nerd, instead of talking down myself, maybe a knowledgeable person.
Yeah, you're curious, right?
Knowledgeable.
And curious and attaining knowledge is a great thing.
Yeah.
So I love questions.
I love absorbing knowledge.
That's great. And so we put in pencils, we put in notepads, we put in markers, we put in rulers, we put in pens, because we have bags. And, your question is excellent because we have age-appropriate bags. So for some of the younger students, they will get the pencils and, the things that they might use more regularly. And we know that once you get to middle school and high school, you might need markers and protractors, things like that. So we have 2 different sets of bags for that purpose.
That's amazing. That's so amazing that how, like, you can give so much to your community and how they respond to it back and how, like, so many ideas can be brought up from the younger generation and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Which that can lead into our next challenge that we have where we want, like, for example, I went to a park recently, and there's like these parks and slides don't have like my height as like a way to get down the slide. Because if I want to go down the slide, I get stuck, or it's like kind of boring because I'm 5'9" or 5'8" tall, 5 feet tall. And what's the point of going down a slide that's basically my height and it's basically so boring? Even when I go in the slings, they're so low. I can't even have fun. I have to do more effort. Slinging is supposed to be mindless, I guess I could say mindless. Not really the best word, but
So you should be able to enjoy the swings without worrying whether you're gonna
touch the ground.
touch the ground
Yeah.
or it's gonna give way or anything like that.
Yeah, or
You
kick
want more
the
age appropriate type of activities in the park.
yeah, because like just because I'm maturing as the age as I grow up, like it doesn't mean I don't have like a kid sense in me because I'm still a kid. My brain is still a kid, but my body's saying I'm adult, but I'm still have the mental state of a child. So it doesn't mean like parks should only be exclusive for 8-year-olds and stuff like that. It should be exclusive for any age, to be honest. Like let's say you have nothing better to do, you want to go into some slings. I feel like if when I'm 30 or 22, it's a random number, I want to go on some slings because I want to. Because sometimes walking, it's kind of so basic. I don't want to just do walking to ponder about my thoughts. I want to go on some slings and just like
Have some recreational activity that you can enjoy,
yeah,
no matter, you know, your age or your size. And I understand what you're saying.
like for
So I
yeah.
think some of the parks could be improved in our community, in terms of, or should be assessed. Let's
Yeah.
say that, right? We should maybe inquire to our residents what they would want to see in the park, and we should maybe
Yeah.
consider it based in categories of ages. I know all the rave now is pickleball.
Oh yeah,
That's like all the rave.
pickleball.
Yeah. So, I think that we should be doing assessments on our parks to determine how we might be able to modify them for the current use. And so I know that there's tons of tennis courts, even at Cantioch Park, which is a county park. That's the closest county park to you in Westbury
Mhm.
and Newcastle is Cantioch Park. Cantioch Park has tons of tennis courts. And if you go by there at any point in the evening, they're not really used that much.
Yeah,
Maybe if we modified those into pickleball, that might be a better situation. And so I have requested that the Commissioner of Parks look into modifying those courts into pickleball. And if they can't do a permanent modification to those parks, that we might be able to have the temporary nets that could be rolled out and utilized for the purpose of pickleball. So that's just one example.
yeah.
And how did I come to make that request? Probably, I think I did it maybe around a year ago. It was because a community member came to me and said, we want pickleball. And we want it at Cantioch Park. So I was able to get the nets. We have the nets. They're there. And all you have to do is go to the office and ask for the nets, and they give you the nets, and you can come out and pull it out and stretch it out and be able to play pickleball. But one of the things that they're now advocating for, and they being the community, is their request is to have the lines painted so that they can, when they pull out these nets, that it can really resemble a pickleball set as best as possible. So I'm in the throes of trying to achieve that. And so, yes, you should have amenities in your park that are, appropriate for all ages. And the way you get that done is speak to the level of government that's responsible for the park.
And I know that it's been a recent trend, or it's always been a trend that youth wants to get into fitness, and like younger parts do have like monkey bars that you can do pull-ups on, but like I don't think they really think that they can do pull-ups. I think they're just doing it for fun. But older kids with a different perspective want to do some pull-ups. Maybe a pull-up bar would be good for a park for older kids, and like I don't know, I don't know if you know what it is, like a dip station where you do chest dips and you go on it, you hold yourself up, you go down and you push. It's like a push-up, but you're doing it in the air.
Okay. So it's outdoor workout equipment.
Yeah.
I actually inquired about some of that equipment when I was working in Huntington because I wanted to install it on our property. And so I think that there could be some modifications in several parks. So I don't know if you know the park across the street from on Powell's Lane across from
Yeah.
the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
That park I remember that park when I was
I
young.
live by that park.
Yeah, me too. And I know that I would like to see something in there that would.
It's kind of, I want to, like, also, I have 2 dogs. And I want, even, like, people have allergies, like, I feel like parks should accept everything because nature is beautiful, and you don't see nature rejecting a raccoon from going into a park and stealing some trash. Why my dog can't be allowed in there?
So you want a dog park too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, those are all, I think they're all reasonable requests. And I think within good reason, we should be approaching the amenities at parks from the perspective of our residents. And so I promise you that during budget season, when we're speaking to issues regarding the parks, that I'm going to advocate for some of the changes that you suggested.
Yes, just because we're maturing adults, just because we're maturing teenagers, that don't mean we don't want any fun.
Right.
We want to go to the park.
We're not that lame. We're not that emo.
We're not that obsessed with our cellular devices. We want to go out and play. We want to
Yeah.
have fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you know what? We want you to go outside and play and have fun, because that is one of the most invaluable experiences that you can have in terms of having interpersonal skills
Yeah.
and being able to have fun with your peers. So I'm in support of it, and I'll move forward with what I can do in a county park. But here's the thing:
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you now a suggestion.
Yeah.
You should reach out to Councilman Robert Troiano
Yeah.
and let him know your concerns, because he's responsible for the oversight at the Bunkie Reed Park. Okay? And then the park that we talked about that's across the street from Powers Lane, across from the 7-Eleven,
Yeah.
contact Mayor Peter Cavallaro and see if he'd be amenable to making any improvements in that little pocket park. And I would be a good partner for them to determine how they might get some grant funds from the county to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I feel like every time I go outside and I go to a park, it feels like I've done something better in my day besides going home from school, doing my after-school programs, and, like, it feels so refreshing. Even though I'm tired from school, it feels so refreshing to be outside, running around with my friends. And I went to a park on Eisenhower Park, and the thing is so small, like a merry-go-round thing I was sitting on. My legs are too long.
So point taken, I'll check into Eisenhower Park too. And I think the idea of installing workout equipment and things like that are a great idea.
And you, Makai?
And I think that another thing is, since there's like not enough parks for us maturing people, we like feel more closed and like we feel more old that we can't do the stuff that we used to do in our youth.
You feel old. My goodness.
I do. I woke up with back pain.
Oh my, we got to get you outside more.
We do.
I want to
committed.
go. Yeah.
Well, on a different topic, what do you think about the bullying in our community, especially around the LGBTQ community?
So I think that there should be no bullying. I think we should appreciate each other for our differences, and we should get to know people and understand, their perspectives. And I believe that kindness,
Yeah.
above all,
Yeah.
is something that is deserving to each and every person, no matter what their persuasion is or their ethnicity or any of that.
Yeah. Kids tend to bully others because they don't like what they like, or they don't understand the definition properly, and so they make fun of it because they don't understand it.
Yeah, because like
They think it's funny.
yeah, you can get bullied for anything. How you look, what you like, who you like.
Yeah. Being like me, who likes school.
Yeah, like just acting like yourself. Like you have to fit in with the others, and even then, you can still get
From a young age.
Don't ever aspire to fit in. Right?
From a young age.
You should be yourself and be comfortable in knowing that your family and the people who love you exactly for who you are. And if there's anyone that puts you in fear or in any type of danger, as a result of picking on you, bullying you, you must report that. You must report that immediately.
Mhm.
Be yourself, regardless of who might be trying to change you. Okay. I've enjoyed both of you tremendously this afternoon. You're both different, but have a similar vibe that made me feel very comfortable here. And I just say, exude that love and that uniqueness that you both possess and bring it out into the world.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody try and make you conform to who they are.
Normal doesn't have a definition. It's only what you grew up as. So normal for me would be dinner at 6 through 10 p.m. So it may be different for someone else, maybe 7 to 5 p.m.
That's right.
At this point, I don't even think there's normal anymore. Like, just be yourself. Be who you are. Be confident in who you are.
And I love that you're having this conversation at your age. I think that I could have benefited along with some of my cousins and family members having these kind of conversations. I think that when you embrace your true self, you really have experienced something that a lot of people haven't. So just until older ages, and some people don't ever get to have these conversations to feel comfortable enough to embrace their true self. Embrace yourself. Don't apologize to anyone for being yourself, and love yourself above all.
If they don't like it, then they can just kick rocks.
Oh, yeah. Now, to wrap this up, it was a great time having this time with you, Legislator Celia Bino. And I know you're a very, very busy woman, and we don't want to take out any more time away from you from our community. And thank you for coming to the studio again, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Makai. Thank you, Jordan. This has been a wonderful experience.
And to our lovely viewing audience, remember to be yourself. And if they don't like it, they can kick rocks. And to our lovely Miss Legislator, it has just been an honor to sit here and just have this wonderful chat.
Thank you. My privilege. Blessings.
Thanks for watching, and
See you next time.